Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night, whatever time of day this video finds you. It's your boy Jay here, and today we are talking about a little situation that's kind of gone on with Capcom and the fans and speculation about the next title in the series. So let's talk about it. Let's dive into it, right? So we're in between games, right? Monster Hunter Sunbreak is done. We're getting nothing more from Monster Hunter Sunbreak. So there's no current Monster Hunter title. Now, we all know the next game is being cooked, right? A lot of us are calling it tentatively Monster Hunter 6. Monster Hunter 6 is being cooked right now, right? They're making it right now as we speak. Great. Sounds amazing. Now, because it's a slow time in the Monster Hunter fandom, all there is to do is to speculate about what's coming in the future games, which I have been doing every Sunday. Hey, check out the video catalog if you're new here. Speculate about what's coming in the next game, or maybe go back and play some older games. Makes sense. But another thing that people are doing is trying to guess when Monster Hunter 6 is coming out, right? Now, anyone's guess is as good as anyone's, right? However, we have had Capcom telling their shareholders, right, that they have an unannounced major title launching within the fiscal year, right? So the fiscal year for Capcom runs from March to March. It is not the same as the calendar year, right? It's still 365 days, but March to March, right? So a new fiscal year begins in March. Does that make sense? So Capcom told their shareholders, hey, listen, we still got one more game, big old game that's going to drop. We're expecting it's going to sell millions. We got one more game for this fiscal year, right? This fiscal year is going to end in March. So, we saw this, and Capcom says all of this stuff in Japanese, right? They're a Japanese company. They're talking to their Japanese shareholders. Cool, right? Now, the reason why that them being Japanese is important is because most of the news that we get comes through in translations, right? And translating Japanese to English and English to Japanese is it can be a little shaky sometimes, right? So they say this, right? Or at least that's what a translation has said that they said. So it turns out the unannounced game that is coming, quote unquote unannounced, actually is Dragon's Dogma 2. Right? So when the news first broke, like, oh, unannounced game, they know it's going to sell millions, they're confident it's going to sell millions. There are only a few Capcom franchises that could pull that sort of thing, right? And unannounced being the major keyword here, we're like, okay, we already know Dragon's Dogma 2 exists, so it's not Dragon's Dogma 2. Right? So unannounced would have to be something like maybe a new Resident Evil remake is coming, right? Or maybe something in Street Fighter, but Street Fighter 6 just came out. Like Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak just ended, so everyone's like, it's got to be Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter is like almost, I think it's the second biggest franchise Capcom has at this point. Capcom, that's got to be the only franchise possible of doing these millions numbers that Capcom was talking about. Now, the Japanese translation was kind of rough, because the thing about Dragon's Dogma 2 is they have yet to announce the release date for Dragon's Dogma 2, right? So it turns out that the translation was a little bit rough, and that's what they meant. An unannounced release date, a game that doesn't have an announced release date, is still coming within the fiscal year and is probably going to sell millions. Dragon's Dogma 2 fits that bill. Now, as of the making of this video, Dragon's Dogma 2 still does not have a release date, but some ratings have been popping up, right? Because you got to get your game rated before you can sell it to the masses. So ratings have been popping up for various countries, and there's a release date has kind of been leaked. It's looking like, I don't know, March 22nd, right? Anyway, so everyone's like, oh, Dragon's Dogma 2 is the unannounced title that Capcom was talking about. Now, I have heard, I haven't seen myself, I have heard that some people in the fandom, in the community, are not happy to hear this. They're like, what happened to Monster Hunter 6? It's supposed to be more Monster Hunter. I'm heartbroken. I can't wait no longer for more Monster Hunter. Please, I need Monster Hunter in my life. Where's Monster Hunter 6? Right? Now, clearly I'm taking the piss here, but they're disappointed to hear that Monster Hunter 6 is not coming out in March, right? Or before March. Now, I get it. right? If you hype yourself up for something and then something turns out to be different than what you hyped yourself up for, I understand being disappointed. But if you're really, really, really mad, or really, truly, like, super upset at the fact that Monster Hunter is not coming out before March of next year, just relax, right? Play other games. 2023 has been such a banger year in gaming. There's plenty of other software to play, right? And Monster Hunter 6 is probably going to be for PS5 or Xbox Series, right? So if you're super hyped for that, you probably have one of those consoles. And Rise Sunbreak came out first on Switch. Maybe you have a Switch as well. There are plenty of games out there for you to be playing while you wait, right? Let's get that out the way. And then point number 2, the second thing I want to talk about is Monster Hunter 6 is not coming as soon as you thought. Good. Wait for it. It will come out when it's ready. Do not rush the game, okay? Insert Miyamoto quote here that Miyamoto never actually said, right? Bad game is forever bad. A delayed game is eventually good, blah, 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 blah. Whatever. But we actually have an example of that in Monster Hunter, right? Y'all remember Base Rise? Huh? Y'all remember when if you wanted Elder Dragon blood in Rise, you had to fight either Ibushi or Narwa, and that's it, because there was no Elder Dragons in the game. Y'all remember that? Y'all remember when there was only 3 Apex monsters in the game? Y'all remember that? And how everybody was like, oh, this is trash. We don't like this. Ain't enough game here. There's no end game. Game is incomplete. Game's not done. Rah, 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 rah. Right? All of those things are valid, by the way. Right? I'm not saying those takes are bad. Those were true takes. Of course, that game came out, during a worldwide situation. So it's a little bit different, but still, it's true. The game did not have that much content. Now, do you want that to happen again? Do you want Monster Hunter 6 to come out incomplete and then they use title updates to complete the game? No, right? Like, obviously, personally, I do not want that, right? I want the game to come out complete and then have title updates add on to that, right? Think World. World came out. It was complete when it came out. We had the final boss in the games. We had Elder Dragons in the game. And then when we got the title updates, we got interesting and cool title updates instead of here's the final boss, bro. Instead of, oh yeah, here are some staple end game monsters that are usually in every game, on disc, but it took us a little while to cook it up. Here's everything you're supposed to get, right? So like when you look at Rise's cycle, right, 2.0 and 3.0, 3.0 was when support was ended, and it's like, bro, really the only bonus monster, quote unquote, we got was Valstrax, because everything else was, man, this was supposed to be in the game already, right? 2.0 was huge, it was big, it did help complete the game, right? Basil Goose, Kushala, Chameleos, Teostra, all in the same patch, along with Apex, Rathalos, and Diablos. Huge patch, great patch, loved it, it was great. But like, that should have been in the game in March, bro. You know what I'm saying? Do you want to repeat that again? Do you want to repeat that? Do you want another incomplete game to come out and then they complete it with the title updates? Or would you rather, like World, a whole game comes out and then the title updates come out and we get more interesting and bigger title update monsters, right? Devil Joe, Lunastra, and then of course the collab quests with the events. That was great. I would much rather prefer us go the World route where we get an end game already in the game, right? We get everything in the game already, the final bosses in the game already from day one, and then we get additional stuff for the title updates, as opposed to the Rise way of doing it where the game was incomplete at launch and then we get the stuff after. And then, yeah, these are our title updates. Like, no, man. That, of course, like I said, special situation. We were going through a worldwide situation. Times were different then, but it ain't gotta be like that again, right? So unless you want a game like that again, just chill out, just wait, play other titles, man. Play other games, increase your gamer palette, and play other stuff in the meantime, right? And also, Monster Hunter is a huge series. Go back and maybe do some unfinished business that you left in older games, right? MHGU, Generations Ultimate is right there. I'm kind of doing this right now on the channel. Subscribe so you can see me go through it. But have you beaten all the EX deviants in Monster Hunter GU? No? Go back there. Get to work. You know what I'm saying? Have you fought all the Arch-Tempered? Go back to work. There's probably something in Rise you haven't done. I mean, Rise. There's probably something in Iceborne you haven't done yet. Get back to work, right? I've seen a lot of people, I still ain't beat Alatreon to this day, or I ain't even soloed Fatalis to this day. Do that while you wait for the next game, right? Do that while you wait for the next game. Apparently Frontier is now playable in some fashion on PC. Get to doing that, right? Let them make the game. Let them take their time, right? Especially if it's going to these bigger, newer, more powerful consoles. They may have bigger visions for the game, and that's going to take a while, right? If you want this big, immersive, crazy experience, you gotta wait for it. You gotta wait for it. Do not rush it. Let them take their time and cook up the game so that you have an amazing game to play. Hell, play Dragon's Dogma 1 and Dragon's Dogma 2 when it come out. I mean, if you got PlayStation Plus, what is it, Premium, I think the second tier or higher, Dragon's Dogma is included in that. Play it. Play that. And then when Dragon's Dogma 2 comes out in March, play that too. There's stuff that you could be doing right now that is not Monster Hunter when it comes to gaming, that just let them cook. Just let them cook, all right? That's the ultimate message of this video. Let them wait unless we get another base Rise situation, which I think a majority of us don't want. Comment down below if you don't want another Rise situation, right? Don't get me wrong, I love Rise, I love Sunbreak, but like that base Rise action, that wasn't it. That wasn't it. We want a complete game on release. Wait for it. Wait for it and let it be amazing. Or do you want the buggy, unfinished, messed up Monster Hunter game to come out, and then the perception of the series is kind of decreased, right? Because like, say what you want, World, Iceborne, Rise, Sunbreak, these are good games. They're all good games, and they're fundamentally good. Like, there's not that many bugs, there's not many issues, there's so much game. They're looked upon very fondly right now, even to people who don't quite play Monster Hunter yet, right? People are being convinced, you know what, I'm gonna try this. I hear a lot of people saying a lot of good things about this. But if they release Monster Hunter 6 in this rushed fashion because you want it right now, and it's filled with bugs, and it's incomplete, and you gotta wait for patches, then a Wild Heart situation is gonna come up where people are like, you know what, I ain't gonna mess with that new Monster Hunter. I heard it was buggy and trash, and it ran like junk. We're not gonna play that because there's too many other good games that people could be playing right now. Okay, so yeah, that's all I wanted to say. That's all I wanted to say. Drop a comment down below. I'll reply to each and every comment that hits this video as usual. Let me know how you're feeling about this. And yeah, people, as usual, happy hunting. And you know what? I'm gonna add another one to it. Happy gaming. Now is the perfect time to go play something else. Pick up a new franchise and expand your gamer palette. It'll make you the better gamer in the long run. As usual, people, happy hunting, happy gaming. Peace.